We're going live. All right, we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're watching this Facebook Live. This is the voice and the face of Dr. Olabintan, CEO and co founder of Livingspring Family Medical Center here in the awesome city of Mansfield, Texas, where we help our patients live long and well because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. And I am excited. I'm always excited, but I'm particularly excited today to have conversations with Dr. Erin Mayfield, who's a friend, a
Yes.
colleague, and a fellow advocate for lifestyle medicine. How are you doing
Mhm.
this morning, Doc?
Oh, I'm so excited to be here and thank you for having me on. It's a lot of fun to have a live and especially first thing in the morning so that we can catch people before they go to work. So that's perfect.
I concur. I concur. Now, for those who are watching live, hashtag live, and for those who will be watching in replay, hashtag replay. And I would like to introduce my guest to you. I know I mentioned her name, but one of the things that that's very unique about Dr. Oh my goodness, my drive went off. About Dr. Erin Mayfield is that she's also a board certified OB-GYN. She's
Mhm.
also board certified in lifestyle medicine. And she's also someone who helps with disability paperwork, right? I saw that. She's a big advocate for lifestyle changes that help empower patients to live long and well as well. She is also the founder and CEO of her group coaching practice called Lifestyle Medicine, Wellness, and Recovery LLC. And guess what she does? She helps people lose weight naturally using foods from the grocery store so they can live long and joyful lives. I love what you do, Doc.
That's it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. Now, inquiring minds want to know, why do you do what you do?
Oh my goodness. Really, health, nutrition, and fitness have been my lifelong passions.
Mm.
I actually started working in the hospital when I was 19 as a nurse's aide. Went through
Wow.
most of nursing school. And I just love taking care of patients. I love being a nurse's aide and working at the bedside. I was attracted to osteopathic medicine because osteopathic medicine really promoted taking care of the whole person. And I wanted to learn manipulative medicine to have an additional modality to help people with whatever problems they had. And the musculoskeletal system is so important in disease processes. I mean, disease processes do manifest in the musculoskeletal system. But then, of course, I fell in love with women's health and delivering babies and ended up doing an OBGYN residency, still with the same emphasis. When women would come in for their annual exams, I love sitting down and talking about what turns out to be the six pillars of lifestyle medicine. We always talked about, what are the stumbling blocks in losing weight? Why do
Mm.
women feel like they can't lose weight? Why do they feel like they can't sleep? Why do they have anxiety? I mean, all of these things we would talk about at the annual exam. And I felt like I came up with a good plan of action with steps that would help them improve what was
Right.
going on in their lives. But then they come back this next year and it seemed like they would have the same problems. And
Mm.
it was very painful for me to see them struggle and to have these issues or to watch them gain weight or develop diabetes or end up with heart disease or strokes. So what I learned when I went through the lifestyle medicine curriculum was that we have these new coaching methods to support people in their journey to lifestyle change, which is what I didn't have when I went to school. And I realized the reason that counseling patients once a year and handing them a piece of paper to walk out the door and say, okay, go do this, just doesn't work. It doesn't work. We know that, right? They need ongoing support. And change comes step by step. So I love the conversation that we're having today, and that is what practical steps can people take to help start to affect this change? Because it's not going to happen overnight.
Mm.
And people need to reflect on their own habits, their own likes and dislikes, and what they really love, and then be curious about what they can do to make these steps toward eating a whole food plant-based diet so they can get rid of the toxic food in the standard American diet. Takes time, but it can be done, and it can be a lot of fun.
It can be done. I love that, and
Yes.
I love the fact that you actually, because of the gap you noted from medical school, where the
Mhm.
lifestyle teaching was not emphasized, that you actually went to get additional training to help you empower your patients to make these changes. So kudos to you for doing that.
Oh gosh,
Um,
thank you.
Now, our topic today is Doc. I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy or gal. Help me do more fruits and veggies. So our first question today is this: like, what's the big deal? What's with fruit and veggies? Why is it so important?
Oh my goodness. So we know nutrition is everything. We know that now because of the technology, we can actually identify the compounds in foods that can either be very healing
Mm,
or can drive the formation of disease. And of course, we didn't know that when I went to school. But the fruits and vegetables are really key because we have such a large variety at our disposal because of the transportation, because of the excellent transportation that we have with fruits and vegetables from overseas staying fresh within our country. So we've got this wide array of fruits and vegetables that we have access to in the grocery store that's not seasonal anymore.
mm,
And each of these groups of foods has different compounds that are anti-inflammatory, that are healing, and that prevent the formation of atherosclerotic heart disease, of help prevent strokes, are anti-cancer agents, and they're just phenomenal. It's an array of compounds that God gave us in natural foods that grow from the earth to help us live long and joyous lives. And it's very exciting work. I love to read about the research and share it with everyone I know. So we know that there are foods, and that is the standard American diet, that drives inflammation that causes 80% of the chronic diseases in our country. And that's a staggering amount of suffering and unnecessary deaths in our friends and loved ones. So when you consider we eliminate the potential to eliminate 80% of heart attacks, strokes,
mm,
40% of cancers, autoimmune diseases, improved bowel diseases, all of that fits into this 80%. We have the power to change our destiny. We have the power to go for it. We just need to know. We just need to know what to do, the steps that we need to take. And people need to understand the devastating effects
mm,
of the meat and the dairy and the processed foods and the chemicals that we consume every day.
mm. There's power in our foods.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
power in our foods. Power to serve us, or power to ah to actually kill.
Yes.
So it's that serious. And sometimes in conversation with patients, I say, "Do you know why fruits and vegetables I keep harping on it." They're like,
Yeah.
because it will help me go to the bathroom better, or because it's good for you." And then I explain. I say, it helps. With cancer, it helps put things in place so that certain cells know not to overgrow and
Yes.
know to do what they're supposed to do within the limits of their functioning. So, like, that's anti-cancer, antioxidant. They're rich in fruits and vegetables. So get to eating. Now that segues to our next question. I've had patients ask me, "Well, doc, how many should I eat a day?" What's your general question, your response to that when someone asks, like, "Okay, how many should I eat? I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian, I don't want to be, but I want to do more fresh fruits and vegetable. How much would you say I'm safe with?"
Oh, awesome. Well, that's a wonderful question. And it is a critical issue because we know 9 out of 10 Americans don't eat enough. And when we talk about servings,
Wow.
sometimes it sounds overwhelming. And yet, a serving is not that much food. When we talk about leafy greens, they say 2 cups of leafy greens. Well, when you look at leafy greens, you can easily eat 2 cups of leafy greens, and you don't have to eat them all at one time. My husband, for example, he puts spinach in his smoothie. So he packs the spinach in there along with his tofu and soy yogurt and fruit and oatmeal, and he loves it. So there are different ways we can get leafy greens. We can get those 2 cups. When it comes to beans, it's a half a cup. Half a cup is 1 serving. When it comes to fruits and vegetables, 5 to 6 servings. But we're talking about 1 banana, 1 apple, a mandarin orange, a cup of papaya. There's so many ways that we can get our fruits. And if we're on the run, that's perfect. Having fruit around us in our office or in our car or on the counter at home, that's the perfect way to get those extra servings, because when we have cravings, when we're hungry, we grab a piece of fruit and it's full of fiber, it's full of natural sugars, it's full of complex carbohydrates that helps insulin resistance, improve insulin resistance. So all of those things are contained in 1 piece of fruit. So it's not hard. And the other thing that helps people, that I think young people especially enjoy, is Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen app that they put on their phones. It's really easy to use. You can get it for iPhone or Android. And all you have to do is check the little boxes, put a little check when you eat that serving, and you get to the end of the day and you say, okay, I've done all of these things. Maybe I didn't get as much fruit today. I didn't have the opportunity to eat as much or as many vegetables as I would have liked, but I can catch up tomorrow. But at least it gives you some way to keep track.
Okay, you dropped a lot of gems here. You know, a lot of times the amount of fruit and vegetables recommended is not overwhelming. I typically tell patients fist size, just get 5 fist size of fruit and vegetables a day. Let's start there. And if you don't think about it, if you don't surround yourself with it, you're not going to do it. So it's something you have to prioritize as important for you, as part of your self-care, as far as your well-care, as far as your life care.
Yes.
And then there are apps to help keep you accountable. Like you mentioned with Dr. Greger, I love him, by the way. And so, yeah, so think about it, do it, keep yourself accountable, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat for your health. Now, here's a question I get often from my clients. They're like, well, I don't want to eat too much fruits because then, sugar, too much sugar in my system. What would you say to that?
Oh, we know that even though fruit has sugar, it's natural sugar. And because the fruit also has the fiber and it's a complex carbohydrate, it's not a simple carbohydrate, it actually helps balance your blood sugar. It's really interesting to look at the work of Dr. Kambata and Barbero in their book, Mastering Diabetes, where they talk about how eating fruit is fine. It's because of the built-up insulin resistance and the obesity that actually sets the stage for diabetics to have their blood sugar rise when they eat fruit. So they have a system in their book called green light, red light, and yellow light foods. And when people stick with it and they eat and they follow those guidelines, they can drop their sugars. I mean, with my brother, I worked with him. I actually went up, he had open heart surgery a year ago, and I went up and stayed with him the week after he got out of the hospital.
Remember.
Cooked all plant-based foods for him, slapped a diabetic sensor on his arm. He'd not had one in the past. And he dropped his blood sugars in 72 hours. We were able to get him off of 3 diabetic medications at that time. And so that goes back to the power of the food. The fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and plant-based proteins are really high octane fuel for your body. And if people would look at that the same way they look at, tending to a garden or putting the right kind of gas in their car, it's the same principle. You can't put oil in your gas tank and expect it to function well.
Right.
It just doesn't. It breaks down eventually. So food is the same way for us.
And I remember the story of your brother who had open heart surgery, and who you actually had to go and advocate for him when it comes to his meals in the hospital, believe it or not,
Yes.
and help him get off three diabetic. I want to emphasize that three diabetic medicines just in the power of changing his food. Some
Yes.
of you may be looking and say, "Oh, oh my goodness, it sounds hard." It's quality of life. What this is saying is your quality of life can be improved. You can live to enjoy those years, your retirement years, and travel and spend time with your
Yes.
families and do things that are important to you in good health. So as you
Yes.
put away that money, you got to
Yes.
start making changes like these that help to make you alive and well enough to enjoy those things. And that's why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can feel great. I started this journey, what I would consider later in life, as far as eating whole plant foods. I
Mm.
read the China study probably 10 or 12 years ago, and that's when I really dropped all of the animal protein. And you can see I feel wonderful. I mean, I feel really good. Do you have aches and pains when you're 66? Well, yeah, you do. You're going to have some. But I love the fact that I can be physically active, that I can go to the gym and work out with young people. And I just pray that everyone starts this journey at a younger age than I did,
Mm.
because they can feel better than I do, and they can work out at the gym at a lot later age than I do. I want everybody to feel this good when they're 66 and better. They can outdo me if they just start this at a younger age. And it's just so doable.
You should see her in the gym. She's my motivation. I'm like, if Dr. Erin is doing that, I better get my act together and start to lose some weight. You just see her bench. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You are amazing. You are amazing.
Well, thank you very much. But it's just really fun. But that's what I want for everyone. I want everyone to know. I mean, they can do this too. It's exciting. It's fun. We actually give cooking classes. Now we're giving them in person in our community in Pensacola, Florida, but we also do them online. And I think that also just makes this whole transition more lively and interesting. And when people can watch you cook plant-based meals, it makes them curious, and then they get to eat it at the end. So that makes it even better. And I think that we have a much higher conversion rate when we can feed people and say, see how delicious it is. See how this meal is even better than eating that hamburger, and reflect on how you're going to feel over the next 2 to 4 to 6 hours after you eat your plant-based meal than when you eat a heavy fat-based meal. Makes a big difference.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And thank you for all you do. Um, Now I have a patient who's asked, or a client who's oh no, I wanted to give this example first. I had a client who saw me not that long ago, and she had gone through the Daniel's fast, and that's essentially where you're eating all plants. And she said she had noticed that joint pain was better. She didn't actually need pain medicine. She felt lighter, she felt more energetic, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" So we're not just saying that they're not theory; they're practical. These are real life examples of how what you eat can improve the quality of life. And so the inconvenience of eating healthy, whatever that may be to you, is worth it. So for whoever's watching, start somewhere.
Yes.
Start splashing and sprinkling more fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet. So our next question is this. I have someone who's watching who's like, but doc, I love the meat and I love the potato. And like, how do I start? Like, this just sounds overwhelmingly hard. What would you say to them?
Well, there are a couple things. One is, we know there's a movement called Meatless Mondays. So we start out slowly. When people are willing to recognize that the meat can be damaging, I think that gives them more motivation to give something new a try. So if you just commit, you have to make a commitment to yourself. Okay, I'm going to try this just to see how it goes. Trying something doesn't mean that you have to do it forever. I mean, people always have the ability to try something and then say, this is not working for me, and do something else.
Hmm.
But if you don't try, you never know. You never know if you can feel better or be better unless you try. So we go for Meatless Mondays. Let's try 1 day a week without meat. Let's try eating meat only once a day. Let's try remembering that the World Health Organization has declared processed meats a class 1 carcinogen. So that includes sausage, lunch meat, bacon, jerky, all of those things drive the formation of colon cancer and gastric cancer. So when you look, and this is how I help make my transition away from sweets. I love desserts. I'm the sugar queen. But I would look at it and I would visualize a lot. I visualize, okay, what's the damage that I'm going to do by eating this? And that helped me work through these humps where I think I've got to have this, or my cravings, I just have to give into this. I try to always circle back to, what is it going to do to me? Do I really want to do this to my body today? And you take one day at a time. So if you can do meatless Mondays, if you can eat meat just once a day, when you cultivate new food preferences, when you use spices, when you cook plant-based foods, when you substitute beans for meat, your taste buds change and you actually start to crave those things, and your body craves it. Your subconscious knows that those are the healthy foods that it needs. And all of a sudden you find that you're making this natural transition to healthy foods because you feel better. Just like your patient that told you that she felt better. Then all of a sudden you're willing to do those things because you love how you feel. And sometimes you don't realize how bad you feel until you start to climb out of it and you feel better. I mean, it's just like smokers. They don't realize how bad they feel until they stop smoking. And then all of a sudden, they breathe better. They have more energy. Their oxygenation is better. They sleep better. And the same principle happens with the food. The other thing that I like to bring up is there are some people who love beans, and it's a lot easier transition for them to just leave out the meat and stick with their beans. There's some people who never eat beans. And we know because of the fiber in beans, it can give you a lot of gas when you first start eating them. So we advocate for people to try to eat beans. They could even continue to eat what they're eating. And if they would just start adding some fruits and vegetables, just a couple extra servings, and a quarter to a half of a cup of beans every day, somehow. Just, it could be an oil-free hummus. It could be just sprinkling some canned black beans on their salad. It could be putting beans in their smoothie. But if they could start quarter to a half a cup a day, it allows their gut bacteria to adjust, and they start growing the healthy gut bacteria, and they can start killing off that unhealthy bacteria that exists when they eat fatty, plant-heavy foods.
Man, you dropped a whole lot of gold nuggets here that I want to highlight. Meatless Monday, love that idea. One meat serving a day. And you mentioned this. I had a client come recently say that she's really panicked. She actually scheduled an appointment just to discuss risk factors when it comes to colon cancer. She says she's hearing that more and more people are having colon cancer at younger age. The World Health Organization has deemed processed meat a class 1, meaning the highest, most likely to cause colon cancer and other types of cancer. So I really want us to emphasize that, as it's really important to make these transitions for our health. I essentially told her this: eat more plants, like less processed meat. That's how you do your part. I think she was her 20th, So
well, good for her. I am thrilled to hear that she's concerned. I mean, that's a critical issue. And one other things I wanted to throw out really quickly is, about a month ago, the American Academy of Pediatrics came out and said that the crisis of obesity in children is so horrible that they recommended aggressive use of diet medications.
I saw that.
Medications, and if children needed bariatric surgery, my gosh, I thought my head was going to explode. And nowhere in that did they say, look, the first line of this is nutrition. Let's get them on healthy food. Let's get them off the fast food at lunchtime in school. Let's get them off of the crappy sugar cereals in the morning. They'll feel better. They'll think clearer. They won't have brain fog. They won't get sleepy in the afternoon. They'll do better in school. But that's not what they said. And to me, that's just beyond a crisis point. It's something that we have to scream from the rooftop. We have to make all parents aware of this. We have got to fight the food policy in Washington so that we can so that they will recognize and acknowledge that a half a century of research showing that plant-based food is healthy and that the processed foods are killing us. I mean, they've got to recognize that sometime because we know it's killing us. The processed food is killing us because the example of doing colonoscopies at an earlier age, it's all because young people are growing up on processed food and meat. That's why. That's why they're getting cancer earlier. And that's a tragedy. That breaks my heart. You know, when you work in medicine for 45 years and you work every day to help people live long and healthy lives, it brings tears to my eyes to see them suffering. And I don't want that. And I'll fight till the day I die to help people understand how they can be healthy and live long and healthy.
To live long and well. It's possible. I
Oh,
read the article
everybody
2 days
can.
ago.
Everybody can be better.
I read the article 2 days ago on the bariatric surgery for kids now and
Yes.
use of weight loss medicine. I said, oh my gosh.
Oh, yes.
And this is not a gloom and doom type conversation. It's we know what to do.
Yes.
The government may not be doing that or putting systems in place, but you are responsible for your own health decisions. So this conversation is to empower you to
Yes.
change your mindset to say, I'm willing to do whatever the inconvenience it may be, or whatever the inconvenience it may take to eat better. And I love how you said sometimes you don't know how bad you feel till you change.
That's
A
right.
quality of life, an improved quality of life is better, is possible. But you got to
Yes.
test it out. Test it out. 3 weeks. Give it 3 weeks and see.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that's the idea. Give it 3 weeks. It takes 3 weeks. What 21 days to develop a new habit? Try it for 3 weeks and see if you don't
Exactly.
feel better.
You do. And you know what's, I'm going to send you a link to this amazing little video clip on YouTube that we can share with your listeners
Awesome.
that shows natural T killer cells killing cancer cells. It's this phenomenal little 2-minute video out of the University of Cambridge. But what it does is to me, it illustrates the power that God gave us in our bodies to heal, to prevent diseases. And it's there, and you've got all of these little tiny microscopic molecules, searching your tissues for foreign bodies and cancer cells to kill them and keep you healthy. So why not feed those cells with the best food that we can so that our body can do the healing that it was designed to do?
God is so amazing. He made that a natural process. We have the power.
Yes,
Wow.
we have the power.
Wow, this has been
We got
so
it.
rich. Yes, this has been
And
so
we
rich.
and we can have fun doing it. And that's just it. We can just have so much fun. We just have to, jump out of the hole and go for it.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for taking the time to enlighten our guests. But Doc, people are asking, man, I love her. I hear what she does. I want to connect with her. I want to have her come speak on my platform. I want to work with her one-on-one. Doc, where can people find you?
Oh, you're so sweet. And I love you too. You're amazing.
Thank you.
So my telemedicine practice is lifestyle medicine, wellness, and recovery. We do group coaching classes with in-person cooking classes. We have an 8-week course and I can see and work with anyone who lives in Georgia and Florida. I still have my Georgia medical license. We are going to start a monthly membership that is a more relaxed type of environment. It's so that anyone can join our membership, where we just go in and we talk about general health issues, nutrition, and still have a live cooking class. I do one-on-one consults, and everyone can reach me through my email and also through the website. The website is also lifestylemedicinewellnessandrecovery.com, and my email is Erin@drerinmayfield.com. So I am here for you.
Awesome. And we're going to put all that information in the comment section of the live. Thank you so much, Doc, for coming. Thank you to all our viewers live and in replay. Please share this. You can simply forward this video to those who you know could find this useful. And if you or anyone is looking for an awesome, a passionate, and a thorough family physician who will use lifestyle changes to empower you to live long and well, I am she. Have a good one. Hold on, Doc.
She is. Dr. Tolu is the best. She's the sweetest woman ever. You've got to meet her.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tolu.
My pleasure.